Okay, next steps on your passive amplifier here. We have the base and the cone all set, and the angle is sanded in the cone so it fits together properly. Now we need to get this sanded and ready for finishing. On the edges of your cone in these corners, there may be some tiny gaps. If there is, take a little bit of wood fill on your finger and just work it right into those gaps. You, less is more when it comes to wood filler. You want to use the least amount possible. If you only get a little bit inside of the cracks, it'll be invisible. If you have a bunch of extra wood filler all over the face of the board, it's going to look bad. So take your thumb then and push off any extra wood filler that's on the face. If you have questions about whether or not something needs filler, ask me. Then after you have this wood filler on here, you do not need any wood filler here. We need to sand. This rough sander is used on the base. You shouldn't need the rough sander on the cone at all unless you've got some big glue spots or something. It's easy to sand too far and get through that outer layer of veneer. So the dark colored sandpaper is rough sandpaper. The light colored sandpaper is fine. So I'm going to start with a rough sandpaper on my base, and I can sand with the grain like this. The purpose of rough sanding on the faces of my base is to get any planer marks out and get any marks, pencil marks, anything going across the grain gone. I can do the same thing on the back side, on the top, on the sides, and on the bottom, okay? On the sides, you'll see some scrapes going across the grain from the belt sander, and that's normal. Those should be sanded out by hand. After you have all those main marks out, you can move on to the fine sander. Now on the fine sander, you'll do that on your cone. And again, sand with the grain. So I'm going to sand the same direction the cone goes. Um, get all the sides. The cone shouldn't need very much unless you have a bunch of pencil marks or something on it. Just make sure the glue is all gone. If there's any gobs of glue, wood filler, that's gone too. And then fine sand the faces and all the sides of your base as well. When you're done fine sanding, it should be totally ready for finish. That means no pencil marks, no scrapes, no glue stains, no extra wood filler. Please check this with me before you go on to the next step and stain. Also, take a piece of masking tape with your name on it, put it right on the inside of your base, and just stick a little piece of masking tape with your name on it on your cone too. That way they don't get mixed up. Otherwise, I'm afraid that they'll get mixed up. At this point, there's no more writing on these with pencil because we need to have these ready for staining.